WCCO News starts now with breaking news.
Thank you for joining us right now. There's an all-out manhunt for the police impersonator who shot 4 people, including 2 state lawmakers.
The leader of the DFL in the House and her husband did not survive. Now, this here is who police want you to keep an eye out for. It is 57-year-old Vance Belter. Law enforcement says that he had a hit list with dozens of names on it, including DFL lawmakers and abortion proponents. Now, these are the latest photos that have been shared by law enforcement. Belter was last seen in Minneapolis. It's that photo right there on the right, wearing a light-skinned cowboy hat, dark long-sleeved collared shirt and coat, light pants. He's also carrying a dark bag.
He's wanted for what investigators say was the politically motivated shooting of these 2 Minnesota lawmakers, Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman and Senator John Hoffman. Hortman and her husband Mark were killed. We're told Hoffman and his wife Yvette underwent surgery for gunshot wounds. Earlier today, our cameras were rolling as police towed away the vehicle he ditched. You can see it looks exactly like a squad car. Inside, police found flyers for the No Kings protests, which happened across the country today.
And within the past couple of hours, armored police vehicles moved onto a property that's believed to be connected to that suspect, Belter. This is down in Green Isle. It's about an hour southwest of the cities.
And our cameras caught SWAT officers sending flashbangs into a home in North Minneapolis. We saw both state and federal investigators there, but we're still working to confirm if or how this is connected.
Now, we have live team coverage of this very quickly moving story. First, let's go to Adam Duxter. He's in Blaine. He's been there throughout the day, where we've had the very latest updates on both the suspect and the search.
Yeah, Heather, and the biggest thing we know right now is that police, despite all their trying, still don't know where Vance Belter is. They've had a command center here in Blaine with local, state, federal law enforcement all day long trying to find him, but still they say their efforts are ongoing. Now the FBI offering a $50,000 reward to anyone who's got any information that can lead to an arrest or a conviction of Belter. But again, they are saying this is someone who is considered to be armed and dangerous, and if you see him, they're asking you to call 911. Again, they had that area of those homes locked down for the better part of hours today as they searched, going essentially door to door trying to find any information they could. But they say sometime during that time, Belter was able to get away. Again, that security photo shared from a business in Minneapolis this morning. He's got an entirely new outfit on, and they say he is trying to flee. They don't know exactly where he's trying to go, but they say he has every intent right now to try and get away from here. And again, this is someone they're saying that is armed and dangerous, working to start his own security company. They say they thought it was police when the police showed up with his SUV with the lights and the sirens, wearing the tactical gear. So again, someone they say is very dangerous, but they do say, and local law enforcement and local officials are stressing here in Blaine, right now is not the time for speculation, and they are focused on still being with those grieving families today.
This individual did this to instill fear into our community, but they also wanted to create a distinct and singular point of view. When I listed all of that law enforcement coming together, that was really us as a state, as a community, from all different walks of life coming together to work on what's happening. And I received calls from folks across the state, from all different ethnicities and communities as well, with an outpouring of support.
And again, earlier today, State Patrol urged people to stay home from No Kings protests, specifically one at the state capitol, where it's expected to draw tens of thousands of people, as Belter had those papers in the back of his car labeled No Kings, along with the names of multiple elected officials, rather, that police say were targets. Again, still so much we're working to learn about Vance Belter, but the most important thing is that he is still on the run. He's considered armed and dangerous. There's a reward out there for him, and police are asking, if you see him, call 911 and get to safety.
Yeah, that is the focus right now. Adam Duxter and Blaine, thank you. Belter's known address is a rural home in Sibley County near the town of Green Isle. That's where we find John Lauritsen. John, there's been a law enforcement presence there for much of the day.
Yeah, there really has been. In fact, you can kind of see behind me right now, we have a Sibley County Sheriff's Department vehicle blocking off this road. Vance Belter actually lives about another mile down and another half mile or so kind of west of here, so about a mile and a half or so away. And you'll find further law enforcement vehicles down that way as well. Now, some neighbors have been driving by on this road and not able to get to their homes, at least for now. They reported seeing a bomb squad vehicle come through earlier on its way to Belter's house. We talked to a few people who live by Vance Belter. They say the fact that he's a suspect is a shock to them.
He must have really planned something, because to find out exactly where these people lived and, drive down there and be dressed in a police uniform and have his vehicle was supposed to be made up to look like a police car. He must have been planning this way in advance.
It's a terrible thing that this happened, and yeah, it's kind of hard to believe that the guy might be living out in my neighborhood.
And you could see a helicopter out here as well, kind of as part of the law enforcement investigation. All those neighbors you heard from, they saw military vehicles come through. We actually saw a tactical vehicle drive through here about an hour ago. There's a command center located in Green Isle about a mile from here right now with lots of law enforcement vehicles. So guys, still right now a very active investigation, obviously, that's going on out here in Sibley County.
All right. Our John Lauritsen in Green Isle this morning. Thank you, John. Now, we are hearing that a shelter-in-place order is now over for homes in Brooklyn Park. Neighbors who were inside of that perimeter sent us these pictures of ongoing searches as late as 2:15 this afternoon. Law enforcement in tactical gear. They were seen going door to door in neighborhoods near the Edinburgh Golf Course. One person living near the golf course told us this.
Saw around the corner the military or the police vehicles and the FBI, and they came up to the door and got a picture of them and opened the door, and they just they didn't come in, but I think they can probably tell by your body language, even if that the things were okay, and we were pretty relaxed. The pups were barking, of course, but had a conversation and basically said, stay in the house, and the same thing, stay in the house. If you see anything suspicious, let us know, and don't open the door.
And once again, for those of you who live in Brooklyn Park, that shelter-in-place order, it has been lifted. Now, those officers in Brooklyn Park, they numbered in the hundreds in search of the gunman, and that is where Maria Lisignoli has been camped out. Maria, what does the scene look like now?
Well, Heather, as you can probably hear, neighbors are out and about. There is people walking their dogs and chatting with each other, really trying to understand what exactly happened last night. But as you can see behind me, Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman's house is just beyond this pond, and the BCA truck is there. There is caution tape surrounding the area, so this is still very much an active crime scene. Like I said, neighbors finally beginning to just come out of their house now that the shelter-in-place order has been lifted. But everyone I spoke with was shocked that their friends were killed in the middle of the night. Now, this morning, law enforcement and the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension surrounded the home of Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman and her husband, Mark. Officers searched through what is believed to be the vehicle the suspect left at the home. And as you can see, it looks exactly like a law enforcement vehicle with flashing white and yellow lights on top. But then when it was towed away, you could really see the red and blue lights flashing in the windshield. The truck even had a white license plate that said police. Now, some neighbors I spoke with said they did hear commotion last night. They heard multiple rounds of gunshots before seeing police swarm the Hortmans' home. But when it comes to the Hortmans, every neighbor I talked to said they were kind and outgoing people who they would often see around the neighborhood walking their dog, Gilbert. One neighbor I spoke with just talked to Melissa yesterday.
She was all bundled up because it was cold and rainy, and just the biggest smile on her face. And that's what I remember about Melissa and Mark. They just were always just happy to see you. It's tough. It's, you feel like you lost some friends today. I mean, that's how I look at it. It's not, I lost a politician. I lost 2 friends.
It was really devastating. Yeah. My wife and I, we cried, and it's really big loss, for Minnesota, for the community here.
Now, the neighbors I spoke with said they rarely spoke with the Hortmans about politics. They were just people. They were their friends and their neighbors. When they did speak with them, they talked about the neighborhood, about the Hortman's dog Gilbert, their 2 adult children, or even the giant garden in front of the Hortman's house that Melissa would often tend to. They said there is a lot of hurt in this community, in this neighborhood right now that's going to take a lot of time to heal. Heather, Derek?
All right. Thank you, Maria. Champlin police were the first to be contacted at 2 a.m. They were called to State Senator John Hoffman's home.
Yes, Jason Rantala is live for us in Champlin this morning. Jason?
Hi there. Well, just a moment ago, I was ready to tell you that this was an inactive scene, and you really couldn't tell that anything had happened here at Senator Hoffman's house. That changed about 15 minutes ago. We saw 2 police squads roll up. Someone came in and took a backpack out of the house, and they literally just left the scene about 2 minutes ago. But we're actually going to show you something here. This is a definite and disturbing sign that something did in fact happen here. Take a look at the front of the doors. Our photographer is zooming in there. You see about 9 bullet holes. Just a really disturbing sight and clear evidence of the tragic act that happened here overnight. I spoke with a neighbor who says she walked past this home all the time with her dog. Her daughter got an early morning alert on her phone about the shooting. She says seeing a police car in the neighborhood is rare, let alone an actual shooting where 2 were hurt.
And I've lived here for 33 years, and it's just like right now I'm feeling like almost shaky because it's real and it happened just so close to home.
And now we're hearing that Hoffman is out of surgery and is stable. As far as his wife, who was also injured in the shooting, there's no word on her condition, but certainly some promising news regarding the state senator, and some hopeful news here for neighbors who have been on pins and needles since this news broke overnight, you guys.
All right, it is. Thank you, Jason. Despite officials asking people to stay away from the Capitol rally, thousands showed up to march. Jennifer Mayerly has the latest.
This is where thousands showed up today for a No Kings march and rally in opposition of the current administration. We can share that law enforcement asked people to stay home as a precaution, but here many people said they felt like it was more important than ever to show up today on a day like today. Now, roughly 1,000 people marched from St. Paul College. They were chanting and holding signs here on their way to the state capitol, where they joined thousands of others. But on the minds of many were the lawmakers who work inside and the deadly attacks on them. Now, a couple from Roseville told me we need to get back to focusing on the values of America, like kindness and helping one another. They say they feel like it was more important to come together when they feel democracy is under attack.
Very sad day for America. We need to do something, America. Come together and stand up for what's right. Humanity.
It's great to see all these people here and realize that we're not the small number that it feels like sometimes. So I feel emotional about that. It's a very positive thing, but what a horrible day.
And that was the sentiment from so many people out here today, also sharing that they weren't going to let fear win. They said they are afraid for our country and they want to fight for our country, using the words both uplifting and somber in the same sentence to describe the feeling and the emotion out here today. Many heartbroken over the tragic events of the early morning hours. Back to you.
Thanks, Jen. We'll continue to cover this breaking story on air and online at WCCO.com.
So when we talk about today's victims, these are lawmakers that we're talking about, but they're also parents, they're people, they're Minnesotans.
As this photo shows, Melissa Hortman was a proud mom to 2 kids. She told our Esme Murphy recently, aside from session, she's been pouring her heart into planning her son's wedding. Melissa was a native to Minnesota, raised in the North Metro, a Blaine graduate. She went to Boston University for college, working in support of then Senator Al Gore and John Kerry. She took that passion home and served her state legislature for 19 years. Melissa and her husband Mark, who the DFL shows us were together just last night, both lost their lives in today's targeted assassination.
And the other victims now fighting for their lives, they are parents shown right here. John Hoffman is a lawmaker, as you see. He's also a dad. You can see him with his daughter Hope. Hope has a disability, and Senator Hoffman fights tirelessly for disability rights and that people like his daughter, who uses wheelchairs and scooters, that they have access to public buildings and basic rights. Now, he and his wife survived today's shooting. They are being treated right now at HCMC. Governor says that he is cautiously optimistic that the couple will pull through. Now, Senator Amy Klobuchar, she is a close friend and colleague of both Melissa Hortman and John Hoffman.
She joined us in studio just about a half an hour ago to talk about this tragic loss. She shared how security threats have changed the landscape.
And it also makes it harder to do your job. You know, you want to be able to say, I'm going to be on the corner of this shopping mall a week before so everyone can come and hear you. But every bit of advice you're given is don't do that. Just kind of show up and that makes it so you feel like you're not really there for your constituents like you should. But that has been a complete change over when I first started in politics, where you would be much more overt about where you were and where you were available. Now, in this case, again, I just don't want to make, whether it's what motivated this madman or whether it is, you know, what happened here with the facts about how he got to where he was. I don't know what they were. I just know that Melissa and John, one's still hanging in there, the other one we've lost, were two legislators that made themselves available. And that's the truth at the state, city levels. I mean, they're there all the time, right? They don't have big security gates, especially people of reasonable means themselves. And so, you know, ring camera is a ring camera, but this guy was so manipulative and so evil that he manipulated them into opening the door.
And we've heard that lawmakers here in the state have had really good support from law enforcement when it comes to any of those concerns that have come up over recent years.
Exactly, and I've seen that they've been just stellar. In this case, the fact that I've talked to some of the other senators from other states, from both parties, who called me today, and they just couldn't believe that, you know, they find out about this horrid crime scene, but they decide on their own, well, we better go check out the Hortman house. So they drive over there, unfortunately just a little too late, and it sounds like he'd already killed her and her husband, or at least they were shot severely, and then they at least are able to identify who he is. And while they still haven't tracked him down, it helps a lot to know who he is, and there will be tips, and this will be solved. But without them having the presence of mind to go over there, they would have probably killed other leaders as well.
Our team continues to cover all angles of this breaking story on air and online at WCCO.com.
We're following breaking news of a manhunt now underway. This after the targeted shooting of a Minnesota legislator and her husband. State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband were killed at their Brooklyn Park home. Now, State Senator John Hoffman and his wife, they were also shot at their home in Champlin. Officials are searching for Vance Belter. He is now on the run.
And of course, our live continuing coverage will continue throughout the evening on WCCO, CBS News Minnesota as it warrants. Of course, we continue to get updates. We have a number of reporters right now out in the field gathering more information that, of course, we will bring you coming up tonight on our news at 6 o'clock. We've obviously been at the state capitol today because this all happened just before the No Kings protest at the Capitol. Our Jennifer Mayerly was there. We have John Lortzen at one of the investigation sites of the home of Vance Belter as well. So those are all some of the things we're going to update you with more information coming up on our 30-minute newscast at 6 o'clock. Right now, the CBS Weekend News. We'll see you back here at 6.
Oh.
I guess it's not ready to go yet. We should let everyone know that there is a basketball game going on.
Right.
And so we are waiting to be able to take what will be a slightly abbreviated version of the CBS Weekend News.
And we expect them at the CBS Weekend News to be able to be covering this story as well here. We know that this has become national news all across the country as Senator Hortman and her her husband were killed overnight in their home in Brooklyn Park. Senator John Hoffman, we are hearing from the governor that he is cautiously optimistic that Senator Hoffman and his wife will pull through. They were shot at their home in Champlin right around 2 o'clock in the morning, and there is a manhunt now for 57-year-old Vance Belter. We understand he has a home down in Green Isle. Law enforcement is there. So is our John Lauritsen. Also has been staying at a home in North Minneapolis. We know law enforcement there as well. So we will have live reports for folks coming up here at 6 o'clock after the CBS Weekend News.
And our Adam Duxter is still at the State's Emergency Operations Center in Blaine, which is where we've been getting a lot of the information here this afternoon. And of course, we'll bring you those updates. But what we want to do now is take you to the CBS Weekend News, the weekend edition here on TV. We will see you back here with more extensive coverage coming up at 6.